Pro-life, pro-choice. It's your choice. We begin this morning with the Florida Supreme Court weighing in to send abortion to the November ballot as Amendment 4. Reproductive rights will now be in the hands of voters. But in doing so, their rulings upheld the state's 15-week abortion ban and give the green light for a 6-week ban to take effect May 1st. The near total ban will block almost all access to abortions in the southern United States, where Florida had been somewhat of a haven for women seeking abortions from our surrounding states that already have 6-week or total bans in place. Planned Parenthood was the plaintiff in the case to overturn House Bill 5, the ban on abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy. So we begin with Executive Director Laura Goodhue, Executive Director of Florida Alliance of Planned Parenthood Affiliates, with details on their strategy moving forward. Welcome, Laura, from Jupiter.
That's right. Hi, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Laura, I want to talk first about what is actually happening right now. So women can, in the state of Florida, have an abortion up to 15 weeks. In May, it is 6 weeks. So what are you seeing in your clinics right now?
Oh, we're seeing, quite honestly, patients that are confused and scared for what's to come. I think as most people who have been pregnant know, 6 weeks is not enough time. Most people don't even know if they're pregnant by then. And basically what this will do is a near total abortion ban. It does not have exceptions for rape or incest, and it will force many people who, they may have health complications for themselves, their birth control might have failed, whatever the reason, they will have run out of options. And it's a really scary time.
And so will people still be able to make appointments? Is 6 weeks enough time? Usually after your first missed period, that's not a whole lot of time before women really know that they're pregnant. So what do they have to do in order to secure an appointment?
There's already a couple of barriers in Florida because of laws that have been passed by politicians. They have to wait 24 hours, which isn't medically unnecessary. And so all before 6 weeks, they'll have to realize they're pregnant, especially if they weren't trying to get pregnant. They will have to go see a provider and then come back at least 24 hours later, all at the same time when a lot of other people may need appointments. Planned Parenthood provides the full range of reproductive health care services. That includes contraception, testing, and treatment for sexually transmitted infections. We're even doing fertility treatments and the first visit for prenatal care. We are busy right now, but we do anticipate being busier. But it also means that a lot of patients will have to go out of state if they can get an appointment and travel.
And so right now, you and others are trying to get people to vote yes on Amendment 4. Do you think that that will galvanize people to go to the polls? Because I will tell you, at least here in the newsroom, when that the 6-week ban, or at least when we knew that the 6-week ban would eventually take effect in May, there weren't a whole lot of protests. We did not hear a lot from sort of the public, at least here in South Florida. So how are you going to get people to vote on this?
That's a really good question, but I think once people just realize what the threat is, and it's more than just our reproductive health care, it's really about our choices and our options and government interference. Because for over a decade now, Florida politicians, and really all across the country, they have been telling women what to do and when to do, and if and when they will become parents. And what we've seen already with abortion bans is that people that have had wanted pregnancies, something goes terribly wrong. Maybe there's a fatal fetal abnormality or the health of the mother, is in danger, and they have to leave the state. We've already been facing this, and that will only be exacerbated by this near total abortion ban without exceptions for rape and incest. And so it's really important that people find out about Amendment 4. The vote will be in November. And what it does is that it limits government interference in our personal private lives. So however you feel about abortion, this simply says that Tallahassee politicians won't be making laws that take away our own personal rights and our rights to bodily autonomy.
That is a high threshold, though, 60%. There have been other states like Ohio and Kansas that have passed these sort of abortion referendums after the states limited them. But those are simple majorities. In Florida, it's a 60% or more. So just sort of talk about that effort to get out the word to voters about this.
I think it's important to know that we have a 60% threshold in Florida because of this same type of political interference. The ways that politicians have interfered in our personal private lives and our rights to healthcare, they've also interfered in our rights to petition our government and made it harder for the voters to have their voices heard. That being said, I think a lot of people are waking up. They're understanding that, government interference has no place in healthcare. They don't want to see their doctors and their nurses potentially prosecuted for a crime if they help their own patients with healthcare. So we're getting out that education and we're informing voters of what's at stake for November.
Some scholars have said that this could kick the issue of abortion then back to the courts, even if this amendment does pass. There's issues of personhood. Are you concerned about that?
We are concerned. And as we saw in Alabama, even politicians interfering in this issue means that people who want to seek fertility treatments like IVF are blocked and can't do that. Just last legislative session in Tallahassee, lawmakers did propose bills that would create fetal personhood and that would make common treatments like IVF out of the reach of Floridians.
If this passes, this would protect the right to abortion before fetal viability, and many doctors say that's 24 weeks. So does this fetal viability, is this basically sort of the equivalent? Would this be the equivalent in Florida to what the U.S. was before Roe was overturned?
It is. It's simply, before pregnancy can survive outside of the womb. And the vast, vast majority of women seek abortions in the first trimester for whatever reason. Again, their birth control could fail, they miss their period, they don't have regular periods. However, pregnancies that go beyond that, and if they need an abortion, is mostly because it's a wanted pregnancy, but something's gone terribly wrong. And we've seen life-threatening cases in Florida of where women have gone into sepsis or shock because their physicians are afraid to treat them because of these restrictions. And this is just something that we can't have. And so this amendment is just common sense saying, look, the government shouldn't interfere in healthcare. It should be between a doctor, their patient, and if they want to, consult with their family and their God. That's where these decisions need to be made.
Laura, thank you so much for joining us